I haven't give you the YouTube link. I shared it on Twitter, and I shared the link. I'm gonna send you the link on our Discord. I mean, on our private chat. But I shared it on Twitter. I shared it on the Stargaze Discord, and it's
Oh yeah,
streaming
I've seen
live
it.
on YouTube. But it's also streamed directly to the Twitter.
Perfect.
So
Awesome. Thank you very much. I just want to make sure we snag that real quick.
oh, no worries. So like we were chanting about you not sleeping. Um, like
Yeah,
what
I
time you
mean,
usually go to sleep?
oh, it really depends. Before this year, or I guess the pandemic, uh, I used to have a pretty normal sleep schedule. 10, 11 p.m. I'd go to bed, wake up, be at work at 7:30. These days now, get done with work at 5, work on the project to somewhere between 11 to 1 a.m. And then sometimes it goes later than that.
Why at night? Why you guys work at night, not during the day?
Honestly, for me, it's always just been I'm more productive at night, and I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything, right? Because in the
Mhm.
day, it's like you could be outside, and then you're stuck in the office. At night, I'm like, well, there's really not much like going on, so I don't mind.
Yeah,
It's easier to stay motivated knowing there's not other options.
yeah. I used to do like this. I actually like I had like bad sleeping habits before, so I would go to bed like 5, 6 or something like this, and I would start
Yeah,
my day around 1 p.m. something like that. But then I start feeling like not really like good with myself, like tired all the time, heavy, and then like would start happening that I would go to bed at 6, but I couldn't sleep anymore. So like then like and decided to change my lifestyle since then. But that was this. The whole night is quiet. You just sit and do your stuff, right? It's much easier.
yeah,
How
yeah.
about you?
No, or
Yeah.
sorry, go on.
No, go on, go on. Like
Oh, I was just gonna say I used to do the 1 p.m. like sleep till. Now it's up at 8:30 or 9:30 at the latest. But yeah, sorry, Tim, you can
uh,
go ahead.
Yeah, so I like to stay up late on weekends, but I try to keep my work to the mornings on weekends usually to kind of try and bang it out because I feel like I drink my first cup of coffee and then I'm really jazzed up and ready to go. So, um, but if it's after work, I'll do it. I'll try to go till like 10 or so and then um, bang it out a little bit more if we have to.
yeah, like I'm getting up and I feel so fresh in the morning, you know. I like to
Yep.
just do the live streams then, like after 2 coffees and stuff, and I feel like really clear-headed. So
Yep.
now I like
Same.
barely do anything in the evening. Sometimes I do live streams, but like the mornings are the time when I do really feel hyped up. Are you both from Minnesota?
Yep.
Yes.
Minneapolis, right?
I'm Minneapolis, and Tin, you're Golden
I'm
Valley.
Plymouth, which is literally like 3 miles from Minneapolis, so we're basically in the same place.
You've always been there?
Mm-hmm. Uh,
Yep.
Around the cities, anyways, in Minnesota. Yep.
Oh, like what's your favorite place in US?
Favorite place in the U.S. If I had just had to say a spot, I really like probably Taylor's Falls or Stillwater. They're two river cities in Minnesota, just right on the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota, and they have like really cute small town feels to them for me personally.
So you into Minnesota, you're not into other states.
No, I actually do travel a decent amount. I went to college in Colorado for 2 years,
Hmm.
and then back in July and August, I went to Europe, Germany, Belgium, Paris, uh, just kind of the whole spiel. So I don't mind traveling, but like if you have to tell me like, or I have to give a favorite place, I still kind of want to rep home, right?
Yeah, like why didn't you visit Poland when you were in Europe?
This
Like
is
what's wrong? Why there's nothing to do in Germany, man? Like they close the shops on the weekends. It's so boring. People go
Do
there
they
like and
really?
think it's fun.
So we actually went for Tomorrowland, which is like a
Oh,
very big, yeah,
yeah, I
European
know.
festival. So that was the main thing. And then we had, we didn't want to just go for 4 days. So we just spent the rest of the time traveling around. And it was stressful. We didn't do any planning. We just bought the plane tickets and that was all we had.
Oh, it's the best way to travel like this. I usually travel like this. Like,
Yep.
so you both traveled, Tin? You also went there with
I
Elliot?
did. I didn't go to Europe. I've actually never been to
Oh,
Europe personally. I've only been to Canada and Mexico myself in terms of other countries, but I definitely want to go to Europe someday. I'm
I,
more of a U.S. traveler, I'd say.
I
And
love
if we're
US.
just spitballing, Tim, do you want to talk about the Europe trip we almost had as a group?
Go
We
on,
got
man.
about 25% of the way there, planning wise. Uh, Me
We
and
had
Bonzi and a couple other people from Minnesota wanted to go to Europe. I don't know how long ago that was. Probably almost 10 years, right? I feel
2017,
like it
not
was
that bad.
okay. So five, basically
Yep.
10. And
Yeah.
we got some planning. We thought about the planning. No planning
We
really
all got
happened, but
passports.
we all got passports. So I'm good to go other places, but we're not good planners in our friend group. So it kind of just went nowhere. Really, is what happened.
We had one
Well,
guy that was super gung ho about it, and then he was just essentially super mad. Like it was 2 weeks out, and he's like, "What do you mean we're not going?" And we all just kind
Yeah.
of knew for like the
Well,
month before it that it wasn't happening.
yeah, it was 2 weeks before, and no planning had gone into it, and it's a trip to an entirely different place. So it's like you kind of gotta just let it go at that point.
well, guys, it's really good time to travel for you. US dollar, like I mean, like that's like two different words. Like let me even uh, like, oh shit, my local Polish currency strengthened recently, but it weakened within a year 25% or something like that, 20% within a year. Like, so essentially for you traveling, like it's becoming cheaper. But there was like quite big inflation in Europe. But it's like a nightmare for everyone else because US dollars are so strong. So everyone is getting poorer while you guys are getting richer, and you still complain about it because you say, hey, 7% inflation, we are getting poorer, and there's like people in the world like currency losing 20%, inflation 20%. you know
I'll
Hey,
um
say, to be fair, I did hear inflation went up to 10%, but yeah, that's definitely less than 20.
yeah, like I mean, Poland I think has 16 or 17 year to year
Wow,
inflation.
that's crazy.
that is
They
crazy.
jacked up the interest rates to over 6% now. um
Are,
and the currency lost 20% in a year, and
and
and most of us live without aircon there. Like that's so
and
um
Don, are you in Hong Kong now?
yeah, Hong Kong now. So I do have aircon.
Okay.
So um
Uh,
are you using aircon in Minnesota, guys?
using what?
Air conditioning,
Air
is that
condition.
what you?
Yeah. Do you use
Yeah.
Oh,
it
it's
in?
cold here.
Yep. In the summer, we definitely. Well, in the summer, we certainly use it, but right now we're kind of transitioning to winter, so not as
Yeah.
much at the moment.
You see how big clowns Europe is. Like most of the households, as like those who live up north, like in Poland, whatever, they don't have installed aircon. Like now, it's not trend. Some people do on, but inside, basically, like everyone is dying in the houses because it's
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
so hot.
I mean, in back in the college days, I don't think any of my houses had AC. And I remember I was on the upper floor, so all the heat went there.
Yeah,
And every night I just go to bed and like, just drenched in sweat. And I don't know, you get used to it. I guess that's the benefit, right?
Like I mean, you get used so much to it that, for example, my hates aircon. Whenever they hate using it, they feel bad. They get. While my wife, who grew up on aircon, wherever we go, even to the place that is like not really the hot climate, we get to her room and she turn on aircon right away. That's the first thing she does.
I mean, I guess I've never really thought about it because I don't know. I guess in school, it never was like a huge deal to me. But
Mhm.
I guess now at this point in my life, I would definitely, if it's 80 degrees in the apartment, I'd probably be turning on the AC. I think I keep mine at 75, so it
Oh
doesn't
dang!
really get
Yeah, like let me check. 80 degrees to Celsius. Well, it's not bad. 80 degrees is fine outside.
Dang! I keep mine at a cool 69. Not gonna lie,
Yeah,
that's too
like I
cold.
mean,
it is pretty cold.
aircon is around like 70, 71, 72. I feel the best.
Okay.
That's the chat about like what temperature you feel best. But like I'm turning it off because even at this, I'm getting a little bit too cold. But yeah, here I could not like handle without aircon because it's like very steamy and hot. But now it's getting like really nice. Like once it's go into the winter in Hong Kong, it's nice weather. Um,
I honestly have Hong Kong is one of those places like I'd always love to visit. I know it's really dense, but like I could not tell you a single thing about Hong Kong or like what the weather's like or anything like
yeah,
that. If you showed me a map of the world, I probably don't know where Hong Kong is. I think it's
uh,
next to Japan.
not really. It's
No.
like a few hours flight. Uh, it's the well, it belongs to China, separate region, right? That belongs
Yep.
to China, on the like southeast of China. So it's subtropical climate.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's very dense. I live on the 40th floor, for example. My
Oh,
view, like I would show you, but I would have to disconnect camera. But like my view is pretty like intense. Like it's all very tall. So but yeah, it's a little boring now here.
One.
But yeah,
Oh, sorry, go on.
no, like I mean, like how did you guys got to crypto? Or
Do you want to start 10 or should I?
I mean, go for it. We've been in for quite a while. I think
So
for most of us.
yeah, let's call probably 2017 the just general starting point for us. Everyone talked about it, and like Bitcoin was always just, it started becoming like the conversation at work, right? Like instead of people talking about the latest show or the latest sports game, started hearing the 45-year-old guy be like, "Have you heard about this Bitcoin thing?" And like we were into it pretty not super early, but like I never started investing in it until 2017. We've definitely have known about it since like 2011. Um, I would say 2011. At the time, I think I made a Gemini account. I bought some Bitcoin. I bought some Ethereum. I think that might have been the only two options on Gemini at the time. After the hype died down, never paid attention to it. And, when the big bull run came back, really started getting into it again. But just kind of like a very generic story. But the
Mhm.
NFT part is kind of the part where like everything was completely brand new to us when we entered the space.
So yeah, Tin, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think pretty similar story. I remember telling my dad in like 2010 or something like that, or 11 or something. I was like, Dad, there's this new thing called Bitcoin. It's gone way up to $200. I remember $200 being the number, and I never invested in it at that point, and I really wish I would have, obviously, but I also do have a transaction from Mount Gox for half a Bitcoin when it was like $100. So
Wow.
yeah, so that would have been cool to have, but now I just put money into Bitcoin and Ethereum weekly with Coinbase, but I've been doing more investments since like 2018, something like that.
I don't really like Bitcoin, like and I don't even like Ethereum, which is like very strange because everyone says, like, I know the rhetoric is like, there is two blue chips. It's Bitcoin and Ethereum, and everyone is convinced that everything else is bad. But I'm completely like not following this rhetoric. Ethereum is okay because of the like effects, but like, how about the NFTs, right? Like, what was the how did you find out the NFTs?
So the first part, I actually do want to just jump in because
Yeah.
Bitcoin I'm okay with. I think Ethereum's the worst thing ever. Trying to like bridge from one version of wrapped Ethereum to the Polygon network to another wrapped version. Like I don't care what anyone says. Bad product. If I'm like technically like I don't know, adept, and I struggle with moving the money around, and it costs a significant amount of money to move money. Bad product.
Yep. I'd like to be clear too. I do have the most money into Atom. I just believe that it
You
seems
don't
like
need
the
to pump it.
majority
I
of
think.
people.
Well,
Yeah, I
and
know. I'm just saying I believe in it the most. It just seems like Bitcoin and Ethereum are the ones that people just flock to.
yeah,
Yeah, like, you don't have to excuse yourself. Like, everyone holds whatever. Like, I hold, like, I now with the stars price action, it seems my biggest banks are Atom and Stars, which, like,
yep,
ironically, Stars. Um, and I had like such a big concerns with the Stars at some point, because like, think like soon after you launched, there was like this dry period on Stargaze, like really the like no liquidity, no volume, barely anything minted. So it's like hype is gone. It's over. So I
yep.
had like concerns. Um, but I see like this nice revival, and the people are like, hey, like, we can try to go on Ethereum and mint nothing, or we can go to Stargaze and actually mint out collection and have our own community, and we found the niche. But anyway, before we get to this, like, how did you discover NFTs?
So this part, Tin actually asked me in, I guess, would that be January 22? I
Yeah,
think.
I believe so. Yep, that
Yeah.
sounds right.
And he just asked me, do you think you would be able to mint an NFT collection? And I was like, like my background is in accounting. That's what my degree is in. But before that, I mess around with macros and like basic programming, MySQL, stuff like that. So, I think I sat down for probably 3 to 5 days just to like force my way to learn the Stargaze tools. I now to me it's like second nature, but like it took me forever to figure it out. But I was like, we're gonna figure, or I guess first we went to Ethereum, OpenSea,
Mm-hmm.
just for test collection. Failed, not failed, but like no one saw it, no one knew
Mm-hmm.
who we were. We didn't have a Twitter, no Discord. Um, but I really like the idea because Tin's a graphic design artist. I can do the minting. And then we had King of Memes, and he's an English degree. And he does social media work. So I was like, you don't get a lot of opportunities in life where you have the right skill set and no one requires a salary.
Mm-hmm.
So I started just looking everywhere. I was like, we're too small. Our art is not sophisticated enough at that time for us to just break out, and things are going down in general. So I thought, what way can we stand out? And I just started Googling startup NFT marketplaces, startup NFT chains. And the first one we found was Stargaze. And I looked at it and I was like, You know, I see like Baby Adam on here pulling over $200,000, and you know, just these projects doing these wild numbers in revenue. I was like, there's less than 20 projects launched. I think we were the 27th or 30th project ever to
Hmm.
launch on Stargaze. And like from that point on, you know, I was like, no one, you know, no one's here, but there's a huge community here. Uh, and huge being relative, but like we can stand out here. And that's how we initially got into it.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like what you know, I go to Ethereum communities and I see some like small artists, and you know they don't launch anything because they would not have chance. And the funny part is like you want to say to them, dude, you could make like 10K on Stargaze, you know,
Yep.
like
Yep.
easily. But it also feels like immoral because they wouldn't. I said it like I could go to them, hey, like, do you know you can actually do your own collection and make some money? But they wouldn't believe me. It's so they would think, no, like I'm trying to scam them. But this is the truth. Like it's such strong community. But I think you got quite late to NFTs,
Yeah.
2022. Tin,
Oh,
yours are also that late, or
100%. I mean,
Yep.
yeah, let me put it this way. If Tin had mentioned this in, let's say, 2020 or 2021, I think we'd be sitting
I
pretty well.
and I think we did joke about it, you know, before 2021, just saying like, "Oh, we should do this, we should try this," but it didn't really materialize until the very, very beginning of 2022.
Yeah, in the bear
right?
market.
Yeah.
Have Have you played with some like I have you bought some Ethereum NFTs?
No, I've never touched Ethereum
So
NFTs.
I haven't either, other than
oh,
the Reapers.
Yeah.
I actually like, you know, even now like I'm checking OpenSea all the time because
Yep.
it's such a if you want to see like actually what's trending, and I think it's really cool. And sometimes I see, oh, I wish they would do it on like Stargaze, you know. I think still like the size wise, the traffic, like everything happens on Ethereum, and it's pretty cool place if you go there like to try to get some ideas. I think um I, I see some AI artists trending now on Ethereum now.
Well, and so with the trending, you know, I know like Hubble Tools has their like trending part, right? Like most people, I feel like, you know, almost just associate Stargaze with Hubble Tools. And I think those kind of features are coming to the actual Stargaze platform. It just takes, you know, time for them to implement it. But one part I guess I should mention is that until we made our project, none of us had any interest in NFTs. Like, to be totally honest, like I don't think any one of us had even looked into what an NFT was or what they were. We just knew Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Mhm.
Yep, that's true for me.
What do you think of Bored Ape Yacht Club?
Um, I I don't like it. I mean, I'm like they're like the OGs. I just don't. For me, I don't really like the art, and more importantly, I don't think I really mesh well with the community that tends to be really into them.
Mm-hmm.
In general, oh, you're good.
Yeah, go.
Okay, I was gonna say in general, I've always kind of been like counterculture. I always like playing the role of like the underdog. Um, Big names, I just kind of go like naturally. I just kind of go against that. That's just tends to be part of my personality, I would say.
Yeah, like oh, by the way, there's a few people watching. Like, guys, do you know if you hit like button on the video, that actually like helps? Just like many people feels cringy to say that, so I don't mind to say that. Like, have you seen this video on the Bored Apes or all the accusations about like them being Nazi?
Yes, I have seen that video.
Do you think
I
it's
have
true
not.
or just?
I think there's a lot of evidence And to be honest, I've been on 4chan quite a bit myself in the past, so I could see a lot of what he's saying, and I can confirm a lot of the stuff that he's saying from what I've seen myself. So, uh, I think they probably started as a joke too, maybe, I would imagine, and
Yeah.
it seems like to me that just blew up, and they're like, oh nope, that's not a thing anymore.
For
But like, maybe it would be weird. I don't see the problem with it at all. And like, like I actually was thinking, like, hey, if that's not like, I think they actually did use 4chan culture. Then
Yep.
it's like, if this is not true, this is just the pictures of monkeys. But if this is true, this is like performative art of trolling whole world, and this makes it like really impactful. So some people would say, yeah, the symbolism they used, but they didn't. It's not necessarily like you would ask, is it symbolism? Like, is it like fascist symbolism, or it's rather 4chan symbolism, which is like its own culture that uses that symbolism, right? And
Right.
it's so I would be thinking like people overblown it, right? Like I do think it's true, but I
Yeah,
didn't. Mhm.
there's some stuff that I think is too far to not be considered like from 4chan at the very least, right? I mean, so but you're I see what you're saying where is it actually attack or a
Yeah.
racist thing? I don't know,
Yeah.
certainly could be, but I've been a 4chan enough to know that it could also just be for the meme.
Hmm.
I personally have not owned a TV or looked at any news source in probably about a decade or
It's on
longer.
YouTube.
So it's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I listened to Kevin Gates on YouTube.
Oh, two phones.
Who's Kevin
Yeah, I don't
Gates?
think Don knows who he is.
Kevin Gates. Who's Kevin Gates? What?
Oh,
He's a rapper.
Music. Oh,
Yeah,
I
he's a
love
rapper.
rap. I love rap.
He's a
Like I
rapper
don't
that's
know why
got
I
two
don't know
phones,
Kevin
so
Gates. Right. Um,
I'd recommend
I
two phones.
I listen to a lot of like
that big gangster.
mumble rap. I do like rap. Like so like I'm surprised I don't know this one. Like I do listen a lot of like American mumble rap and
Yeah, like Lil Boat, Lil Yachty, Lil Uzi Vert, all the
oh, did you
Lils.
yeah, like I know all the Lils. Lil Peep as well. I do like Lil Peep. Um Lil Yachty has new trending song. Did you see Poland?
I have not seen
I
his new song yet. I just love the meme whenever Lil Yachty drops an album, the market crashes.
no, Little Yachty released the song Poland. I think it was actually leak about him taking a walk to Poland, which is like walk is uh, the codeine syrup, right? It's the syrup
Yep.
walk. It's the yeah. So it's a song about taking a walk to Poland. That's it, and it's like went viral. So yeah, like I'm actually like this. I'm not American, but like I'm all American culture. Like, and
Yep.
I go with everything. I go with like classics, um, rap classics like Notorious Big,
Yep.
and others. But I love mumble rap, and I was like really obsessed like on this new wave culture of the. I was big fan of XXXTentacion,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and
me
I was
too.
thinking after. I was thinking actually he's him like it was big surprise because I thought he would be timeless, but I feel like after he died, it's like hype of X
So
died, right?
well, with him too, there was controversy because I don't keep up on anything that matters. I do keep up on some of the rap news.
Yeah.
So So he had like domestic abuse
Yeah.
allegations. So a lot of radios would not play him because of that.
Yeah, I know. Like but he actually come out clean from this at the very end, right? Like he was like changing, and he was like I do think he was like doing positive change, because he was like genuine guy when he was streaming, or like he, I feel he would help a lot of people. But of course there was like a lot of this anger issues of him after Fell's album. Like he was like 17 or something like this, but
Yeah,
I was like, I'm obsessed about, like, there is the Remedy for Broken Hearts. I do really like this song. I do like Moonlight from like
yep.
the one just before he died. Everyone dies in the everyone dies in the nightmares. Dies in Yeah, everyone dies in their nightmares. Like I like this, but this is such a weird trend, because he brought this like 1-2 minute rap songs, which is like was not a thing, just like very short lyrical poetry, So, and even they don't play him. I thought there will be impact after he died. Um,
I do hear him on one of the radio stations in our
yeah,
local area from time to time. They
right.
usually play Moonlight.
Mm.
Um, yeah, no, the short rap song thing, I remember like that all changing probably around that 2016 time range, 2017. Started getting really big.
Yeah. So like, but for example, then I like Lil Peep. Do you know Lil Peep?
Lil Peep,
Yep.
yep. Awful
Um,
Things is the big
Uh,
one, and yeah,
yeah, I do really like. What's it? My
about Juicy
favorite is
WRLD.
the um. Oh yeah, like of course.
Yep,
But like the Lil Peep, I love the Star Shopping.
yep.
It's so good. I don't know. It's such a vibe. But the
Well,
thing
yeah,
is,
and I actually do know that song. I'm not just saying,
such
yeah,
a
I actually, yeah, it's on my liked list.
like it's such a like I would like sometimes, when I would work heavily, I would just play on repeat, and just but what I'm aiming at, the ex, right? Like he was really on the top when he was alive, and I was like, he died, like such an impact, like. But Lil Peep wasn't that big before he died. He had like he was big, but he was like it was the culture. He
Yeah,
died and he blew up, and he's relevant now, I think, more than X. Like he's trending more than X, which
I would
was
agree
which
with
was
that.
quite
Yeah.
surprised. You know, but both such a great talents. Whatever people say about Lils or whatever, like I think they were like embracing kind of new wave of art, you know.
No,
So
I think that entire genre just kind of stemmed from like the SoundCloud rap. That's what they call it, right?
yeah, yeah,
SoundCloud rap.
yeah.
No, I'm with it. It just is. It feels less polished, I guess would be the way I would describe it, than a lot of production music, and I think that really caught on.
yeah.
Um, one song that I'm only gonna say one song. I know this can be a rabbit hole, but six dogs flossing. I think you would like that. Do you know what I'm talking about, Tim?
No, I have no clue. That's why I'm laughing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stick. Oh, it's six dogs flossing.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
I have it. I'm gonna watch it. Wow, we could go in such a really rabbit hole of this whole culture. Suddenly like I just saw the thumbnail of the video, and I'm like thinking even like now of the Young Green. Do you know Young Green?
Yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we know
This is
Young
like
Green.
another fucking culture, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
such a such a impact. The guy came, and just it's whole vibe about around Young Green. and what he brought. It's not American. He's like Danish, right? Danish
Yep.
or something like this. But yeah, like throw some rap names. What are the like OGs for you?
Oh, OGs, or what am I
Yeah,
listening
like
to?
what you listening to? Like that. I mean, like
So I would say probably I'm pulling up my Spotify, but Kevin Gates is a big one.
yeah, I'm gonna
Dude, I
go with
love
Kevin
Kevin
Gates.
Gates. Um, Probably NBA YoungBoy is one I listen to. Um, Bobby Raps, another one. Two Chains. I gotta say, Two Chains is my guy.
Two Chains. Wow.
I gotta give it to Two Chains.
Okay, that was one I don't know the NBA young boy. Like
Me neither.
I'm gonna listen, right? So like seems I'm not really that experienced yet with your culture, but
Yep.
I just
Or Schoolboy Q too. I think Schoolboy Q, he goes under the radar a lot, but like he's one of my favorites by far.
can you how what
So
you
school,
like school
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, like school, and then
Schoolboy Q.
BOY,
Okay, got it. Yeah,
yep,
Schoolboy Q.
yep. And then if you're gonna
Yeah.
pick one, do To the Beat.
Okay. I'm gonna listen later. This
Yeah,
is so like, look, the thing about US, it's the how diverse US is, like with the different cultures and different societies, that it kind of like later evolve in this like very diverse music, like and shaping of the really cool trends for like everyone, right? Like
yep,
you had like well, especially when it come to like maybe black culture, right? And they communities, like you don't really have this divide between the different races maybe in Europe or stuff, like, or different neighborhoods, different style of living. So the
yep.
music and the culture is not so vibrant, I feel, in Europe. Like, you, of course, like many people say, no, Europe has much better culture, like, but I think it's just so different, like
Oh, it's definitely different. I As soon as we went, like when I traveled to Europe, I was like, man, everywhere feels so much nicer than back home. That's how I felt personally.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
everyone I talked to, it was just like, because I remember one of the nights in Europe, we had to leave one of the hotels in the middle of the night. It was that bad. We just had to get out of there. And then when we were leaving, the person's like, "Oh, like by the way, you can't sleep on the street." I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "You'll get arrested if you sleep on the street." And where I live is it's not a bad area, but like it's next to the light rail,
Hmm.
and there's like a lot of homeless here. So like if I go for a walk at night, I can usually, find about 20 to 30 friends hanging around if I went for a few mile walk.
Hmm.
So like it felt much different. It felt much safer.
Hmm. It is very safe. I can tell you, especially like in like when it comes to safety, you can, like in Hong Kong, for example, you can go with like the middle of the night in the shittest neighborhood, having like gold Rolex on your wrist. It's fine.
Yep.
There is no this type of crime here at all. For example, in Europe there is. In US, probably on much larger scale, right? Um,
Hmm.
Yeah, when I traveled, everyone said keep your stuff in your front pockets. Like I was like, this feels way safer than back home. Like maybe the thieves just dress better, but like I saw homeless guys where I was like, that guy looks like he is way ahead of me in life right now. Like he was just like very well dressed, and I was just like, what's that guy doing over there? I was like, oh, that's just a dude.
yeah. I must tell you, I loved this kind of thing about US, and it's such as like I think I'm just weirdo, because went to Vegas this year,
Yep.
and we arrived in Vegas with then my girlfriend. A few days after, it was my wife, and it was such a
Congrats.
shithole. Thank you. It was such a fucking shithole.
You didn't
Like
like
we had
Vegas?
this. Sorry.
You didn't like Vegas?
I start embracing it just from the next day. Like that's what I'm saying. I love it. So I go there, and you have these billboards. You have literally like you in US, you have billboard culture, and all the billboards were lawyers, like the Better Call Saul style lawyers, And I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is this? It's like a movie. It's like a TV series.
Well,
The
you can sue
McDonald's.
anyone for anything here. That's kind of how it is, you know. I don't
Yeah,
think it's
but
like that anywhere else.
it was so weird. And then we went to this McDonald's, and the McDonald's was shitty. Then we went to 7-Eleven, and
Yep.
in the front of 7-Eleven was this dude, probably homeless, washing his mouth with the Listerine and spitting under himself in the shop. The guy who served looked like from like Mexican mafia, like he was, like tattoos, gold chains on that. I was like,
Really?
what the? It's not real. It's not real. And I was like, but you think of it, and it's so fucking amazing. And the next day, we walked around, and there is like the dude just fucking sunbathing on the middle of the street, and I love it. I just love it so much. It's insane. But this, like, it creates the problem, because if it goes too far, of course, crime, the lifestyle, it affects the lifestyle. But you have this in Vegas. I had this vibe of no man's land, just like it's just whatever. and
Yeah.
and I like this thing about US.
You would like Minneapolis. So I do want to preface this. I know I saw Jay Hernandez down there, so I just want to at least try to back up what I'm saying a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, I've always like enjoyed kind of like the low class like lifestyle. I like the light rail here is like if you ride on it. I've seen people bring a bong on public transportation and just smoke it, and no one even cares. Um, like I think it's funny. I enjoy it, but like that's kind of one of the reasons why I like crypto is that like you don't need to put on a face. Like a lot of the creators too that I've noticed, they're all younger people for the most part, and as long as you can do what you're gonna say you can do, at the end of the day, that's what matters. I did put a little bit in my hair so it didn't look like I've just been like sitting around for a bit, right? But like most of the time, if you ever see me like post on Twitter, it's always just kind of like meme stuff and just poking fun at the end of the day because it's just I don't know. I think it's much more enjoyable to be like genuine than to just put on this like business face all the time.
Can you check your mic? There's like a connection a little bit. I mean, it's okay, but there is a little bit of like
Like
noise.
static a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Teen, your voice is perfect. You know,
We've got a $120 mic, so it better be.
similar to me. We are is from this Sunnyside Reapers, right? The money. How much you made, guys?
So real quick, can you hear me or am I still staticky?
It's still like
Okay.
a little.
Okay. Tim, do you want to talk? I'll be right back.
The question about how much we've made definitely has to go to Bonzi, but if you got another question for me, I can certainly answer it. He's definitely the finance guy in that regard.
Well, I was just poking because I don't think you made that much, on the. Oh shit, my battery is. But yeah, I want to chat money, like because I think many people is interesting. Like are you the artist itself, or you learned were you always the artist, or you just like learn recently and develop the passion?
Yeah, so I went to school for graphic design, got a degree in that, and I work as a pre-press generalist is my
Hmm.
actual title, which so I work on files for print and stuff like that, and I do occasional design work at work. But so I've certainly got a background in art and design, so that kind of stemmed from there, and I have been the artist for all the Sunnyside collections.
Do you have some other works that people can see beyond
I
the
really don't have like a portfolio. I kind of lucked
right,
out in getting my job thanks to my uncle. So I never really made a portfolio for myself, but I certainly could do something like that.
right?
And
Yeah, like and mhm.
do I sound better now? Hopefully,
It's
or
still a
still?
little bit, but it's fine. Like I don't think it's that much to actually bother anyone, you know.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
So
Okay.
but if you made a lot of money on the Sunnyside Reapers, you might try to buy yourself one of these $120 mics.
I have
You know.
I have a blue mic, the blue snowball on right
You,
now.
you, you should be able to change the audio source in the settings if you care to try to do that, Bonds.
I actually did. Here, I'm gonna try to join from my phone. I'm happy to talk about the money. By the way, I'm not trying to stall. Give me
Yeah,
1 second. I'll switch my source.
yeah. But one thing, like you are Anon, and this is so cool. Like the thing about so we were talking about this US culture of people on the trains like smoking a bong and no one cares, right? And
Yeah.
it's like people say, "Hey, US is shithole because of this." And they often say, "Look at China, it's clean. No one smokes a bong. No one smokes a bong." But my question is also like, yeah, but what people want, like the line to the US embassy is long, the line to the
Hmm.
Chinese embassy doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And I was thinking the crypto and NFTs like this, right? Look, you are this anon, and what if people don't want to be exposed and like always you are here, Bonzi, but I cannot hear. Like I was thinking like what, well, let him sort it out. Like I
Hmm.
feel like maybe people embrace NFTs because like you can be whoever you want and no one fucking cares, right? Like you could go on Twitter and go on the rampage with your views
Hmm.
that can be like very controversial, but no one will care because you are this like anon. The NFTs allow you to like embrace this weird vibe of freedom. I don't know if it makes sense for anyone.
Yeah, I think I kind of understand what you're saying. And I am actually fully doxxed on the website. So,
Right.
but I just don't have a cam that I can use, unfortunately. But I think that's a huge factor for some people, right? Just the sense of anonymity and being able to kind of be whoever you want. I think is
Hmm.
certainly a draw to a lot of people. Not being
It's
able,
like,
not being afraid of what you can say.
yeah, yeah. This what I was thinking. Like, and recently discovered this. So I know there is George. Actually, like the. Can you say something, Elliot? I
The
would
the cam
recommend
was
coming
definitely better.
back to the to the previous
Yeah,
setup.
the laptop was better. Yep.
And don't worry about the little sounds. It wasn't that bad. I just like was thinking maybe there was some connection. Um,
Gotcha.
like oh, I think maybe it's good now. Because you were saying, Tin, you are like you spent enough time on 4chan, and I think NFTs and 4chan are they just it's creating of small communities where you like embrace that like no consequence for the words. And
Yeah.
I think maybe people are tired of the like I'm not here to judge anyone, right? I'm not here to tell what's right of wrong, but I think maybe people are tired of the cancellations,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's why they like embrace NFTs, because it's like, what the fuck? I'm just gonna serve the NFT and say whatever I want, and there will not be consequences for me for what I say. And I think that's why NFTs kind of work. And to be honest, I even myself, I'm thinking to create my alt accounts that are anons, and I will be the NFT character, and no one will know who am I, because I'm public now, and my tweets, I notice they have consequences sometimes. You know, I would like I would tweet. I give you example, like getting back to Stargaze, I would tweet that I sold all my bad kits. Thank you for making me rich. Bye bye. And people would come on the Discord, and they would say like, hey, what's going on with Don Kryptonium? I think he you know, like he runs the bad kids validator, and I just redelegated because I think it's bad representation for bad kids. It's
That's
like, I
unfortunate,
don't
but
like
like
it, right?
I feel like, you know, like it depends on who you are. Like one of the biggest things I think from our standpoint is we don't really have those concerns, I guess, because from the
Mhm.
very beginning, I mean, anyone that's seen me talk on Twitter or Stargaze, like, uh, I have like one of the ambassador titles, but I don't treat anyone differently. I don't do customer care if the guy's being aggressive. I think the mentality of the customer is always right is a very toxic
Yeah.
mentality and not something that should quite honestly exist. If the user has a bad
Mhm.
opinion, I'm gonna let them know.
Mhm.
So I mean, for you, it's unfortunate because it's like if you're running the bad kids validator, it's not all just on you anymore, right?
Mhm.
Granted, if I go too far, then I lose my title, but I try not to do that.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, like when you get the bigger sway, and I kind of miss the like being no one, and someone who can just let's say like fuck with people with no
Yep.
consequences. It was obviously it was a joke, and I do believe that this kind of tweets are the net positive, you know, because they
Yeah.
like but people don't get that. And I think like being too nice, like, yeah, we allowed only to post nice things, is detrimental to the community. Like, you should be able to pretend that you are selling everything and stuff like this, because if you try to be too nice, it's like you're losing the soul, you're losing the fun. Like,
Yeah.
are you you it's about, are you concerned that the price go down, or like what? Because if you concerned that someone's tweet pulls the price down, maybe you in it for wrong reason. Like, you know, like it's I'm not gonna care if the price of the if it affects the price NFT up and down. Like, this is not like what I'm here. I'm not here to make sure your bags go up, you know. So
Well, and at least from ours, and I'm gonna bring up two different sides of it. Is I've always taken the opinion of, you know, you can go the route where you try to please everyone,
mhm.
and then you can get pushed over again and again and again, and eventually your project is just kind of forced into this mentality where you just have to listen to everything that's a complaint. So I've kind of always taken the stance, you know, like, you know, if this person doesn't like or agree with our project, we don't need them.
Yeah.
We don't need to build that type of community. And then on the flip side of it, and Tim, let's not talk about specifics, but I, like in our team channel, I've called out, not called out, but like I'll ask Tin or King to remove something that I'm like, hey guys, like, don't do this. Like, we don't want to have something happen. And like, and I get it because like it's backlash, and most of the time it's super minor stuff that shouldn't matter. But I don't know. I just wanted to let Tin have something to say about that. That was fairly recent.
Yeah. There are more strict communities, and I don't enjoy this. I should become the Sunnyside Reaper. How many of them you made?
Probably around. There's probably 10,000 to 11,000. I want to say between all of our collections. Monetary wise, so I never directly like calculated how much we made over time because of how volatile Stars was. When we first started, they sold for $15 a piece. Now their price is more like $3 or $4. In total revenue, we have probably made between $20,000 and $30,000 between our projects.
And how many people is there?
So our team right now is 4 core members: me, Tin, King of Memes, and WT Barris, William Barris, Tiger. And then Boo, our second artist, she is contract. And then the last part is we do pay an outside developer for our game.
Okay, guys, like I will be honest with you, 30,000 is very little money, especially if you live in United States and you have to share it with few people. So I want to ask you, do you have guys jobs, or you live like really on the McDonald's fries diets?
So full-time jobs. This part I actually want to highlight. What we're going with for our project is our end goal is a card game that's non-play to earn. We all have full-time jobs, and I say on every space, we could all work at McDonald's for 10 hours a week and make more money. What our strategy is we want everything to kind of be this strong community that we build up in time and make a lot of meaningful connections. The revenue between now and the game's release does not mean anything to us. If we didn't get paid anything, it doesn't matter. I'm funding roughly half of the game development from my own personal funds, and then really when the game's release comes, that's when we're going to start putting marketing into hype, into presentation, and then really try to get out there. We want it to be a breakaway goal. That is our end goal.
Sorry, like I'm not sure if I caught the shit. Wait, Siri is popping out. Siri was informing me that the battery is dying. You see, like I do too many videos. Sometimes I forget to charge my cam, so I'm going back on this one, and I'm sorry for the towel there. That's more realistic picture, but now I can look at you guys. I mean, I always look at you, but now you aware that I look at you. I didn't cut play to earn or not play to earn.
No. I don't like play to earn. I don't like a lot of things in crypto. I think play to earn is a bad model, to be honest. Sorry, go on.
No, like play to earn is essentially like you only play because you incentivize, not because you like it.
Yeah, and the core concept that we have is we want to make a fun game. We want the game to be fun first, and then if the game is fun, that encourages people to get cards that fit their deck that they want to play.
So we don't want it to feel like a job.
Correct.
Or like a second job, you know?
Yep.
And like how the game will look like. I want to understand it somehow. Like, right, like what's the game? It will be like online. It's the Sunnyside is like kind of online cards, right?
Yep. So with the game, and this is something that I can always share offline too. We have a simulator that we have originally made a few months ago where we show gameplay of the game. Beyond that, the actual gameplay is a mix of Hearthstone and auto chess. So the idea behind the game is that it's played vertical versus horizontal. The average game time is about 5 to 10 minutes, and we introduce a lot of customization in aspects of the game board that does not exist in other games. With the NFTs themselves, we have the NFT integration done. It loads in the image from the blockchain after verifying your wallet. And then from that standpoint, nothing's held on chain. I don't know if that's the right term for it, actually. I shouldn't say that. But the metadata, so when it has a trait like body, we're going to have one that says attack 5, health 10, special ability dodge, or special ability cleave. And then that keyword cleave, its function is actually coded in the game. So we retain a lot of the balance of the game and power over the balancing within the actual game by these keywords. So we don't print overpowered cards and run into a situation where we're like, there's a bunch of cards out here that are overpowered. Then to also keep that in check, we use a power allocator that basically distributes the total power that a card can roll. That's a really easy script. I wrote the design for, and Tiger wrote the code for. It just changes the metadata. But the game itself, the idea is we're going to have cosmetics as NFTs. The NFT images get loaded in. You can update your tombstone, which represents the player's health pool, with this NFT. The Reapers themselves are the monsters on the field. And then we have the card type support. These are all in the game. Omen, all in the game. Boss, for now, is all in the game. And then Tombstone Power, which is a comeback mechanic that's designed to keep balancing in check. Also, just
so the game, I understand, is strategy game, right? It requires the strategy of the user.
Yes.
Does the different NFT, like depending on rarity, is better than the other?
No. So this part is always weird to me because rarity does not matter. The traits that our NFTs hold is health, attack, block, crit, faction, special ability. Faction cards that are the same faction, they get bonuses when played together. Special abilities are geared towards either being defensive, offensive, or having a fun niche effect. So stacking NFTs with special abilities that match whether they are attack based or defense based adds value. So it's really like the best cards depend entirely on what type of deck you are building, which makes it so a lot of cards can be very valuable to different people, and not everyone's looking for the same cards.
I think I totally get that because I bought some of the booster boxes of Dragon Ball cards. So it's essentially you building decks with that. But I was buying this for collection reasons, not for playing. But this is how you do it, right? So you need to collect the different Sunnyside Reapers to build your perfect deck for your strategy to work for you. I totally get the concept. But what's in it for you? Where do you make money?
So the idea long term for us, and I'm upfront about this as well, our odds of success are less than 10%, and I don't sugarcoat that. What we are looking at essentially is 1 million people have card games. 1 million people have thought of this idea before. What I look at is, I think most NFT games are designed to make money, or they rely on what I think is a fad, play to earn. I think there's not many going the direction we are in, and the fact that we are in a startup marketplace where this doesn't exist makes it very much more likely to succeed than if we were on a different chain. So where we make money is the idea of, if this game's actually fun, I think people are going to be in a card game, not because it's a card game, but because it's the first one in Cosmos NFT ecosystem. And if we can see, some success there, well, since the NFT is all in the metadata, you can bring this to any chain. It's cross-chain compatible. There's nothing stopping you from that after the wallet integration.
Okay.
So and then the last part that I do think is important is that every NFT game, in general, I'm sure there's exceptions, they charge these asinine prices. It's like, $200 for a single item in a game that doesn't exist. Like right now and in the future, we are always going to be low cost. And then right now, our royalties are reasonable. But when the game releases, we're going to be low cost, high royalties. So the idea is we want royalties to be the revenue driver. And for that to ever happen and have a successful secondary market, the game needs to be fun and it needs to have an audience that's interested in it.
I do totally get the essentially the business model is completely different from others. Because others are like, hey, the price go up, we make more money. But you are like, no, like we are going to make the fun game.
Yeah.
And it will be really fun. You will enjoy playing this.
Correct.
But you will get addicted to playing this because it will be so fun that you will start want to build your own deck.
Yes.
Like a really cool deck. But to do it, you will be required to buy the cards that you want. And every time you buy the cards, we get the profit. Because you will be experimenting with strategies.
So yes, that in essence is the idea. The one thing I will say is that you don't need NFTs. You can play the game with generic ones. So we are going to make the game playable without NFTs, so people can get it on the Google Play Store and that anyone can play it. The other aspect that I forgot to mention is that, and this is further down the line, a lot of it won't be there on release, but like our cosmetics, these are going to be, a lot of them will be these limited one-time drops. And we'll drop, the top 50 players of that month, this one-time, never seen again cosmetic. So we're hoping that if the game's fun and people play it, these very rare cosmetics that drop in the game, that can be a value driver where people can earn a return on the game without actually needing to put in any capital on their end other than the low-cost Reapers.
Wait, because you said it's not required to have NFT to play. I just want to so what's the value for a person why someone would buy the NFT?
So with the game itself, we get to design and pick the Reapers that are available in the game. We get to selectively say, hey, if each deck needs 10 Reapers, and if you want to play one of our factions is called Guardians Guild, and you want to play a Guardians Guild deck, and our game only provides 7 Reapers that are Guardians Guild, there's an incentive to go out there to go find 3 more Guardians Guilds and ones that might fit better.
And ones that have, better stats or special abilities, for example.
Yep.
So they will be kind of pushed, you are better off buying. They have free ones, but...
Yeah, and this part, so, I get what you're saying, is it pay to win? This part is kind of where I would say it is going to be to some extent, but again, our target mint price is meant to be low. We're not trying to price gouge anyone. But yeah, I mean, if you're playing a free deck, you're going to lose to somebody who, you know, found 10 Reapers in the NFT marketplace. Because we do want to incentivize new users to NFTs as well.
Yeah. That's perfect strategy, I think. To everyone wondering, the Sunnyside Reapers are cheap. It's like it's $3. You have a choice. You go to a Starbucks and overpay, or buy yourself cheaper Sunnyside Reaper. You know, I drink coffee at home because I enjoy good coffee that I do myself, but it's just doesn't really cost you. Like, so I want to ask if there is anyone in the chat, anyone right now in the chat who wants Sunnyside Reaper. I will buy you Sunnyside Reaper right now, and I will send it to you. So like just want, like, maybe no one wants. I don't know, but there is 8 people. So like if there is like, if you want, I will buy it now and send it to you.
For my own pride, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, like, but like just let's see. Maybe people will not. Maybe they like don't really want that. But I also want to, like, if you know anyone from Discord right now and they don't have money or something, and they are new to Stargaze and they want Sunnyside Reaper, I will send them Sunnyside Reaper, because I just collected my validator rewards for a past week, which is like 1,100 stars. So I can buy, let's say, 10 Sunnyside Reapers or more and give it away if someone wants. People, like, by the way, people, like, you can DM me, whatever, like, I will send it to you. You can DM me, like, say I want Sunnyside Reaper stars address, and I will send. When the game is launched, what's the plans?
So with this, and this part was probably my biggest mistake. I gave a timeline on that before the development, the app development of the game ever started, and I listened to my developer. That was a mistake, because he's like, "Oh yeah, it doesn't sound that hard." So the game's release, I'm anticipating February 23. Originally we were saying Q4 2022. We said January for a little bit. Then we actually hired our contract developer last week on Monday, and they gave us an ETA after providing them with the documentation that they needed of 14 weeks, which brings us, I think, 14 weeks, whenever that is, but we're going to need to do polishing touches and do like testing right before we go live. So I'm hoping February. It's possible it could be March, but one thing I'll say is that, like, we will be showing gameplay along the way. It's not something where I'm just trying to like delay, when we have anything. It's just a contract developer. And this part, I know every NFT game gets a ton of scrutiny. In our Discord, or I'm happy to share it anywhere, I don't need to push our socials. I have like the bill, how much we paid, how much we're paying them. It's all public information that we share, and we're 100% transparent about it.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I will try to play. Like, I hope like the market will be good and there will be the users, because it's always go down to this. But I hope there is communities, and especially maybe like if there is like community of people who used to play Magic the Gathering, right, and stuff like this. They will come to this, because that's essentially market for them to play and have some fun. You are the ambassador on the Stargaze. Is it paid gig for you?
This is not a paid gig for me at this time.
Oh,
so no, I do not get paid for it. This is kind of part of our strategy. Like, one of the things we do is we do everything different. Is the number one thing. I try to call out things I hate when I see them, and I try to make that public. So in the future, hopefully I'm right, and then people kind of associate our name with the fact that we called out something while everyone else was buying into it. Beyond that, like, we started with nothing, and like, you know, I make us a project that everyone wants to be in contact with for one reason or another. Especially in the Stargaze community, there's not many people who don't know who we are, haven't worked with us. There's very few projects that haven't. So same with Stargaze, you know, I'm engaged as possible. I keep not like eyes everywhere, but I keep up to date with everyone, and I can almost always have an answer for someone as soon as they have a question regarding, hey, what's going on with this creator? What's the drama here? You know, who's coming next? I usually have the answer for it, and I make sure that when people want information, I'm the guy they think of.
Do you follow any drama from outside Stargaze?
So this one's funny. It depends on what it is. When it comes to NFTs, crypto, if it's not something that I personally am looking at, you would never know that I was in the space, because I will be completely ignorant of what's going on, and I won't know what's happening. So if you have examples, I can tell you right away if I know everything about it or nothing about it at all.
The Atom 2.0 drama?
I've heard people don't like it. That's about all I know.
Okay. I was just fascinated by the development of this. Like, so sorry, like I will share it with you, because I think it brings, like, again, internet culture, which is like very fascinating from like let's say anthropological standpoint. By the way, people, like, if you want Sunnyside rapper, like, DM on the Twitter and I will send you. So like I was, you know, Atom 2.0 discussion started about, is it proposal good or not, and it evolved a few days ago, 2 days ago. The discussion about Nazis, can Asian people be Nazis, and stuff like this. You would go there, and they were like racial, just discussing the racial stuff and things like this. And I was like, this is so fascinating. Like, this is such an like unbelievable internet culture of this echo chamber of schizophrenia. Like, when it starts from something and it just evolves, and the people like get so crazy and throw their opinions and sentences. Like, I love to watch it. I'm in this for the space, because this, like, it's just amazing to watch, like how things can evolve, go into completely irrational discussion, because it doesn't make sense at all, right? But
yeah, I mean,
really,
and can I throw out I'm gonna tie this into like one of my hot takes, just in the space. Like, I personally have never really understood the appeal of like decentralization, because of how chaotic it can get. Like, you know, it's one of the things that's not popular to say in the space, but it's like, you know, if you trust the team and like you believe in their vision, I feel like that sometimes can be better than, you know, just throwing it to the horses and just like, you know, it can be gamed. Everyone gets their vote, but you know, we've seen the voting game before, so and it can turn chaotic like that. So there's my hot take for the time. I feel like you're 100% on the other side of this one.
No, I'm not 100%. Like, I think there should be the level between the decentralization and the centralization, because well, decentralization doesn't work. That's very naive take, right? Because like, you can drop the chain that is decentralized, and then like someone can come and simply bought out the majority, and it's over. Like, it's gimmick work. This is not how the things work. But if you play and trying to give maybe the voice to everyone, what happened with like Atom 2.0, it gets to like completely irrational area. I like the Stargaze model, which was like, we incentivize community, we do the seed round, We do the allocations for the teams because this is them who essentially work, and we try to bring the product that balance those things. But I don't like the centralization that come now as like essentially FTX own everything, right? And Sam Bankman-Fried, like he bought out everything that went bankrupt,
Yep.
all the companies. So like people who will interact with like a lot of products, centralized DeFi products, let's say, like, which doesn't make sense because they're like this custodial DeFi products, like it's essentially owned by FTX.
Yeah, it's
Then
like
the FTX like made a lot of money, so they make like heavy investments in all the other centralized projects, and it's like, do you really want to be part of it? It's not fun, not much fun. Like,
Yep.
this like, so I'm not into this like Aptos. Not sure if you heard of it. They raised like
I think I've heard of the word.
yeah, so it's another hot chain, right? Like this is they just launched. They raised like $300 million from the investors, which is Anderson, well, A16Z, right?
Yep.
Which is like one of the biggest hedge fund venture capital venture, not what I'm saying, one of the biggest venture capital in the space. They raised from FTX, so it's something that Jack from the Twitter, right? Jack Dorsey said like about decentralization, that your decentralization lies probably. So, what was he said or set out Web3? But I will mix it. But like that's the word. Your decentralization probably lies somewhere between those 16 letters,
Yep.
but it doesn't exist. So yeah, like I get you. Like you have to. At the end, it's just about building the product. That's it, I think.
Yep.
So, do you want to share something about Sunnyside at the end? And I think we are good to
Yeah.
cut it.
I think we covered like a good amount of information, like just at a high level about our project. The two things that we got coming up right now is we're going to be doing a spin-off collection, extremely low cost, just a little Halloween special of our Halloween banner collection, and we're airdropping people who did mint the banners for it. That's coming up this week. We haven't really mentioned it too much. And then Boo, and I've showed you some of the art from her. We're going to be, I don't know if I can mention it yet, but I won't say the platform, but we have a new collection coming out that is kind of similar to Rebels in style, their latest collection called Sweet Succubi. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yep.
Okay. But that is going to be coming out in the next probably 2 to 3 weeks, and that's going to be our take at a kind of more original NFT collection where the art is a little bit more refined, I'll say. Brand new character, and we might lean into like mutations and just kind of like it'd be one where we do care about the floor price, whereas right now for our main project, until the game launches, I don't care about floor price. It doesn't matter. It's not what the end goal is, and it doesn't matter until the game is near.
Yeah, this new project. By the way, the one person that he sent me the DM, so I just sent the Sunnyside to this person, and it's real. Like you can really just DM me, and I will send you. So, how big will be the size of the collection?
So the Halloween one, and this part's going to be tough. The collection size is going to be high. We're not trying to make it mint out. We're not trying to have it be a hit. We're going to mess with it, but we're burning the whole supply on November 1st. It's literally just to be like, if you're looking for your favorite like horror character, like Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers, then it's just kind of a cool collection that's extremely low cost just to check out the space. We're looking at a whitelist price of 33 stars and a public mint of 66 stars. for the suites.
How big collection?
So the range that we're looking at is going to probably be between like 1408 and 2666, but it's probably going to be on the lower range of that.
Go
again,
higher. Like the price is so low. Just go to 20,000.
so
Yeah.
and this part, it's a perception thing. So that part is the only reason, we're going to change it. Because for us, it's meant for the holiday, like Halloween. It's just meant to be fun. It's not meant to be this like blue chip that you hope takes off. It's literally just meant to be like, if you want to rep your character for Halloween, go for it. Then Sweet Succubi, that one's going to be 666 collection size, and the price is to be determined. Probably between $15 and $40 for that one is kind of what we're thinking.
Yeah, cool. Few coffees. I think you guys like horror movies, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
What? Give some best titles, like the best horrors. I need to watch something. Not tonight. My wife is away. I don't want to be scared. Maybe.
So we're actually it's on Shudder, so which is like the Netflix of horror, they like to say. But VHS 99 came out on Thursday of this past week, the 20th. And we just started watching it. It's got good reviews. I have high hopes. We are like 16 minutes into it right now, but a lot of thumbs up from people on the platform. So I'd recommend that.
VHS 99, I see it. Yeah.
Yep. All the VHS movies except for Viral are pretty darn good. I'll say that.
Agreed.
Yeah, like it's so hard to make a good horror movie. I feel like it's sometimes. I really like the I like the kind of old horror movies where like was full of like fake blood, like almost getting into the B class. You know what I mean? Like really
like
fun.
Evil Dead
like
and like The Thing, right?
Oh, yeah. That was the other one I was gonna say.
Yeah. Both very good.
This is like fun because this is like kind of, it has this what's kind of with the Stephen King vibe, like this kind of American small town. I love these movies, are always like fun to watch. But I do enjoy like the last horror I watched like was a few months ago was Swedish horror, was like the right one.
Oh yeah,
I've heard good things of that.
It's in a different language. Yeah. I feel like we've seen it, but it's
they made in American version. Apparently it's also good, the American version. So it's like it's horror romance.
Yeah.
Yep.
This let the right one in. Like loved it. So I watched the Swedish version, really good. Like it's more of the romance, but it was so pretty, so simple. So like it was really like, it was essentially a love story. Do you also enjoy the horror books, or?
This is another part where I'm gonna show my weak side. Actually, no, that's not true. In 2019, I read the book It, and when I was a kid, I think my parents gave them away probably like 5-10 years ago. But I used to have like a bookshelf full of Goosebumps books, scary stories to tell in the dark. All I read was horror books. That was like 100% what I was into.
Nice. So that's why it's the Reapers? It's actually the horror vibe.
So that's actually interesting. It doesn't directly relate to that. So the Reaper character.
Can you like, sorry, like for a moment, the cable and try to maybe play with it, because it got a little worse, right, Steen?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it got a little worse. So now cannot hear you, so it probably disconnected. So you just have to like try to. I think it might be the issue with connection or something. Like, but you disconnected voice now, so you would have to.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it didn't get better,
Bad.
but it's okay then. Like, let's go then. Yeah, like
Tim, do you want to?
Sunnyside Reapers it's because it's actually horror.
Yeah, so it pretty much originated from Bonzi having, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but he had like a reaper that he would draw on his note, school, elementary school, which I think is primary school for you guys, notebooks, where he would just draw this reaper. And I came to him saying, "Hey, do you have an idea for an NFT?" Because I was the designer. I've never been really an idea guy, so he had that. Just he was like, "I have this thing that I've been doing for years," and he showed me the sketch that he had, and it kind of just blossomed from there.
Hmm. Guys, like, what's your favorite movie? Teen, you go first. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie of all time?
Yeah, you
I'm
can
gonna
give.
say. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go on. Maybe you can give three if you have difficult to choose.
Yeah, I guess my favorite two, I'll say, would be The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, and The Dark Knight, the Batman movie that was from like 2010 or something.
I'm gonna send you something. I'm gonna send to Bonzi on Discord because I tried to get to film school for the 3 times actually. Like I was obsessed with the movies. Uh, I love Kubrick.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
And I love Shining. I do love Shining. I will, and I made like one, and I actually made one tribute to Stanley Kubrick. I will send the Vimeo link in a moment. Like, yeah, I do. And
Oh
how
yeah.
about you, Bonzi? Like,
So my three, and hopefully the audio is understandable, but Just Friends, um, American Beauty, and Silent Hill.
I love how American it is. Just so perfect. Just but that's really cool. Like because it 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 also shows like the age you in probably, right? Like you grew up on that, I
Yep.
think. Yeah, I think my favorite is maybe Boogie Nights, Paul Thomas Anderson. Like, have you
I've never
ever seen it?
no.
It's recommend you. Very long one, but it's so cool. I love it. Boogie Nights, Paul
Neither.
Thomas Anderson. Yeah.
No, we do
Um,
movies all the time, so we're always open to watching more.
yeah,
Mhm.
like now little less, because like it's adult life. When I was like 18 or something, in 1 year I watched like 500 movies, old movies. Like I've seen all Kubrick movies, I've seen all Polanski movies, I've seen all Scorsese movies, like all the classics. I've seen it all, like, but I'm a little upset with the modern cinema. Like I don't enjoy Avengers at all. Like I would go to cinema with my friends and I just fucking hate it. It's no entertainment for me. I like the story. I want the story, and it's no
Yeah, and
story
there
for me.
way too many remakes nowadays too, don't you
Yeah.
think? I mean, it's just like the Lion King remake and shit like that. It's like, why
Mhm.
do you have to remake a perfect movie? You know?
Yeah. Lion King was the first cinema movie I went to. Was 94, I believe. Yeah, I was 4 years
Yep.
old. It
Yep.
was the first movie in cinema I've seen it. So I think it was. Uh, yeah,
That
like, and I
sounds right.
didn't
Yeah.
didn't enjoy the remix. It's like so way the original animation is so way better. I
Yeah.
kind of was thinking, yeah, go on.
I was gonna say just the amount of expression you can show with a 2D animation as opposed to 3D realistic is incredible. You feel the emotions more.
And you just fucking get it, because what I
Yep.
wanted to see now, I feel like the NFTs bring the sentiment to the 2D. I hate fucking 3D. I just fucking
Yeah.
hate it. The 2D, it just has it. It has the art, it has the emotions. And it's like, yeah, like, and I feel like with NFTs, we kind of embrace it back, the kind of, I don't know, bring back the Cartoon Network culture,
Yep.
and stuff is really cool.
Yeah, realism looks really cool for sure, and it's very impressive what they do. But 2D, you can just do way more with. I mean, in terms of
Yeah.
emotion and showing
Mhm.
just action of things. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Like I'm so much agreeing. And I think it's so beautiful that we can actually
Yeah.
end on this, like, because I know it's super late there. So guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry for
Yeah.
holding
Thank
you
you.
that long. We didn't talk on the NFTs, because like there's other things to chat as well in life. So thank you for this, and people, come to my DMs. I'm sending you Reapers. So thanks again, and enjoy
Thank you.
your night.
No, you
Yeah. Thank
No
you,
worries.
John.
you enjoy your day.
No worries. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yep.